Hello, this is the 60 and More Crowd podcast. It's nice to be back with another episode after a little break. This is your host, Sue, speaking to you from Canada. Here on the podcast, the focus is on people in their 60s, 70s, and more working longer, more than any previous generation. It's a fresh, modern view about today's evolving workplace as people stay longer on the job. We look at it with a wide, global lens. Each short episode covers a relevant aspect of the working longer trend. I'm a real person, living this path and experience alongside the listeners. In today's episode, we're taking a bigger picture look of the unretirement trend and the key elements that are shaping it and driving it. Hard stop of working isn't a reality for many people in 2026, given the high cost of living for one. In Canada, where I live, approximately 25% of people over the age of 65 are continuing to work in some capacity. Many people who previously left the workforce are jumping back in, which is also a growing trend. Listener feedback, questions, and comments are welcome. You can reach me at the show email at feedback@60andmorecrowd.com. You can't navigate new paths with an old map, so let's go. Something big is happening in today's workforce, the changing nature of work. Many people in their 60s, 70s, and more are choosing not to follow traditional retirement paths and timelines. Maybe you will keep working in your job or explore new ways of working in today's ever-changing workplace. Unretirement isn't a trend under the radar in 2026. It's a growing global shift, reshaping how we live, work, and age. And in this episode, I'm sharing key themes that are driving the rise in worker longevity. Age demographic trends, new ways to work, worker surveys, and the reality that longer lives naturally lead to longer careers. How will the workforce adapt? Let's take a quick look at age demographic shift, which is really key to what's reshaping the whole trend here. According to the World Economic Forum, in the G7, there are now more people over 65 than under 15. The WEF highlights that nearly 10% of the global population is now 65 plus. In certain industries, there's a shortage of skilled workers, and employers are having difficulty replacing older workers. Organizations and businesses will need the experience, skills, and insights of older workers. Here in Canada, nearly 20% of the population, which is roughly more than 8 million people, are now over the age of 65. Canada has one of the fastest growing 65 plus age sectors in the world. And almost 23% of Canadians 65 plus are still working in some way. That's a major demographic shift, and it's reshaping what work and retirement or unretirement are going to look like now and in the future. Recent U.S. Census findings, over 18% of the population are 65 and older. The 65 plus population is growing nearly 5 times faster than the total population. Let's take a look at Japan. This is very interesting. According to the research, over 30% of the population is now over the age of 65. Japan is the first major economy where older adults are the largest demographic group. More than half of people aged 65 plus remain working, and 30% of people in their 70s are still working, which is so cool. Let's take a look at a report from the EU labor market called Supporting Older Workers. Here are some of the key areas of their focus. In Europe, the European Commission is working with member countries in the EU labor market on policies and initiatives to support older workers staying in the labor market. Between now and 2030, most EU countries will see their share of older workers increase to 55% of their overall labor force. That's huge. Here's some other key areas of focus: addressing the challenges of an aging workforce, promoting active aging, ensuring fair treatment and equal opportunities for older individuals. Many European countries are actively improving incentives to encourage working at an older age, especially past traditional retirement age. Working longer makes good economic sense if one is able to. It not only helps counteract the shrinking workforce, it also increases people's purchasing power. What's the North American workers' feedback surveys? How are they feeling? Generally speaking, this is a generation where many people say they intend to work into their 70s or longer. What do they need and want to see in order to hold on to their jobs longer? Well, in Canada, this is a feedback from a recent 2025 HOOP Canadian Retirement Survey. Many who are approaching retirement age are delaying their exit from the workforce. No big surprise. They said it was primarily due to economic pressures and the increasing cost of living. The concept of a full-stop retirement is just too challenging for many people to consider. Big picture trend: 66% of workers expect to work past traditional retirement timelines. High interest areas are flexible work and ongoing learning and skill development. Keeping a work chapter can also add to your life, staying active, adding structure, social engagement, and purpose. What's happening in the U.S.? This is a feedback from HireClick's State of Retirement and Today's Workforce. No surprise, for most people, age 65 is no longer the finish line for working. 63% are interested in part-time work for income, fulfillment, and ongoing learning and training. A recent resume builder stat: in 2025, 1 out of 8 retirees plan to go back to work. The age 75 plus category is the fastest growing category in the labor market. But it can be difficult to find and apply for jobs in this phase. One of the challenges is staying on top of technology. Lack of tech or computer skills can hinder the job application process. Let's pivot a bit and let's take a look at new ways to work for those staying in the workplace and reimagine what that could look like. Longer work lives require redesigned work environments and new ways to work options. So let's broaden the scope and walk through a variety of job options and ways to work in your 60s, 70s, and more. Options: staying in your current job, exploring flexible options or phased retirement, part-time or seasonal work, freelance consulting, starting a small business. Many older workers have decades of experience in a particular industry that is of value to companies, such as business, finance, health, manufacturing, education, technology. Or you may pivot and try something totally new to explore. Many people are launching new ventures in small businesses. Starting a small business at this stage in life is very popular. Turning hobbies, creative projects into income producers, and helps you transition to new types of work. Embracing change and reimagining what a work chapter could look like, we start to look at work differently. After leaving my long-time corporate role in book publishing, I began to look at new and different ways to work. My new venture, creating and launching the 60 and More Crowd podcast, it looks like this: embracing the new and blending it with decades of experience, navigating uncertainty, connecting to the audience, and staying open to learning new skills like podcasting. Here's my thought leadership on this. This podcast was built around the concept that for many of us in our 60s, 70s, and more, it's off to work we go in interesting and impactful ways. Well, thanks for joining me in today's episode. Older workers are redefining the modern workplace and staying on the job past traditional timelines. We bring experience, adaptability, fresh perspectives, and value to organizations and the marketplace. How do organizations adapt? Stay tuned to future episodes as we dig into this further. This podcast is available wherever you listen to podcasts. Leaving a star review helps others find the podcast.